there a lot of background noise, or is it
Definitely.
okay? Because I have some ambulances and all running around, and I
अच्छा,
can't
अभी तक नहीं आ रहा है.
Ma'am, you are live now.
Okay. So, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to yet another empowering edition in the true sense of the Vibe Live, a hexalogue. The Vibe that stands for Women Inspire, Build, and Enhance is a platform dedicated to fostering women's excellence. It brings together women doctors from diverse specialties to share knowledge, leadership experiences, and personal journeys that inspire both growth as well as collaboration. There are four fundamental pillars that form the vibe: physical well being, mental health, financial wisdom, and professional excellence. Through various initiatives, the Vibe strives to build a community of women professionals to uplift one another and redefine the landscape of healthcare leadership. I'm Dr. Ritu Jhari, consultant diabetologist and metabolic expert practicing in western suburbs of Mumbai. I have a unique, diverse background with decade and a half spent in pharma industry and now last half decade practicing diabetes, thyroid, and obesity. Besides clinical practice, I also contribute to research and medical writing as co-founder of RFECT, a medical marketing agency. But what brings me the most pleasure in sharing is the introduction of this unique platform, The Vibe, as a founder of this great, excellent platform. I'm blessed to be complimented by my husband, who's an orthopedic surgeon, and our family feels complete with a teen son and a naughty toddler daughter. With that, first of all, as I told you, we have somebody who wears the crown, but not just the physical crown, but a crown in many senses, which you'll find out soon. So, welcome, Dr. Sona, to the Vibe Live Hexalog.
Thank you, Dr. Ritu. Such a nice introduction, and I'm excited about Vibe. I think y'all are doing a great job coming together like this and making people be more aware of their achievements. Like when you invited me for this, I was like wondering, have I really achieved so much? But more commendable is your follow up, because I know I've been busy like lately, and you finding time to follow up so much was quite a surprise that you have intentions of really bringing out the best
Absolutely.
in the women doctors around. Congratulations for that. Yes.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Absolutely happy to be behind you to, to get you here today. And
Yeah.
with that, let me introduce you to this team vibe, to our entire woman, which you can see the aura about. So, with Dr. Lotika first. Dr. Lotika, your introduction, please.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Dr. Latika Purohit, a diabetologist and lifestyle medicine physician practicing in Kolaba, Mumbai since the last 3 decades. I'm a visiting faculty at the JJ Group of Hospitals, as well as I'm part of the National Executive Committee of the Research Society for Study of Diabetology in India. I'm complemented by my husband, Dr. Suresh Purohit, who's more popularly known as the Sugar Doctor. And I'm a mother to an artist and an entrepreneur. Besides that, I love traveling, visiting new different places, and enjoy helping, supporting, and treating people with diabetes and other lifestyle disease. But what really gives us a lot of excitement is this initiative of the Vibe Hexalog every Wednesday afternoon, wherein we have a meaningful conversation with women physicians who are star achievers in their own field, and there's a lot of sharing of knowledge, insights of different struggles, as well as life that we see. I hand over to Dr. Pranjali for her introduction.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lodika. Good afternoon, Dr. Sona. And I'm Dr. Pranjali Shah, Director and Chief Diabetologist at Diabetes Clinic. It's in Mulund, Mumbai. I also handle internal operations at iHeal Complete Vision Care, led by my husband. He's a cornea transplant surgeon. So apart from handling and treating young diabetics and live them stronger and longer, I believe in community care and community awareness also. So we do a lot of community awareness camps and screen more than 20,000 population across the central Mumbai. And being a part of Landmark Forum, I have declared my possibility to India. So that's why we, as a WIPE team, we are working on our WIPE outreach program. We are going to launch by this end of month, where we are planning to give services to rural population and help them live longer and stronger too. Um, Thank you so much, ma'am. And this Wednesdays are like live charging points for us. Whenever we are low and when we connect with leaders like you, it gives us again motivation and inspiration, like we can do and achieve more in our life. Over to you, Dr. Kavita.
Thanks, Dr. Pranjali. Good afternoon, Dr. Sona.
Hi.
Namaskar, everyone. I'm Dr. Kavita Rane. I have been a diabetes and obesity expert at Rane Hospital in Chembur. I'm also the director of operations there. I have my own clinic called Diabetes Total at Rane Hospital and Apollo Spectra in Chembur. Along with that, the other activities I love to do is I love photography. I have had an exhibition at Jahangir in 2019, and I love traveling with my father and my family. We do certain community activities as well for our community, spread awareness of diabetes. And I love EDM music, I love abstract art, and I love these Wednesday vibe lives that we have. So over to Dr. Rukia.
Hello, ma'am. Welcome to this Vibe today. I'm Dr. Rukia Surya Sheikh. I'm a diabetes, thyroid, and an obesity specialist. I've been practicing in Mulund for last decade and a half. And this journey has taught me that healthcare is not just about treating numbers, it's about understanding people. Uh, I love to play carom. I enjoy these Wednesday vibe lives, and recently I have started painting, adding my way of adding little color and calm to the chaos of daily life. I'm absolutely excited to be early morning from Toronto, to be here with each one of you, to get inspired and to charge up myself for these wonderful conversations. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for accepting this invitation.
Yeah, thank you for having me here. Do I kind of, how does it go after this?
Mhm.
So thank you so much, girls. It's truly a wonder. As I was talking, Dr. Sona, that I was yesterday just giving a brief introduction about you. So first of all, welcome to the Vibe Live Hexalog. It truly means a lot to have your humility onto our platform. When you said that, it's something that we've been pursuing every Wednesday, trying to have women talk and promote the womanhood and sisterhood across so that each one of us can actually excel in their respective fields. So, I always feel that when it comes to women like you who have not only achieved but have reinvented themselves, that's a completely different ball game, because women go through a lot in their life. They go through their own marriage, they through marriages. So you shift homes, you shift cities, sometimes you shift countries. Then you go through motherhood. Again, your career takes a backseat, and then you again reinvent yourself because some of us are aspirational. In fact, today nowadays, most of us are aspirational or ambitious, and then we make the best out of those opportunities that land up our way, or we create paths like you have done in your life. So it definitely means a lot when it comes to these kind of opportunities. So today we looked at you and we thought about having the theme saying Beyond the Crown, a woman's journey of purpose, passion, and possibility. So welcome and allow me to just speak few words about you, Dr. Sona. So, to dear audience, Dr. Sona is a well-known neuroradiologist who's been practicing in Mumbai. She's a teacher, she's an invited speaker in India. She's lectured in various countries like the US, the Australia, Singapore, Philippines, Indonesia, Malaysia for almost years together, decades together. She's basically she's been dedicated to the prestigious Tata Memorial Hospital, effectively contributing to management of patients as well as academics, setting up pioneering imaging and treatment protocols. She's also co-piloted various initiatives. She has 5 busy radiology centers in Mumbai alongside her husband, Dr. Ajit. As a person, she's definitely an independent woman, humble, absolutely humble, cohesive, generous. She has also started an initiative which is, trust me, a very inspiring one called as Raksha, which is radiologist for girl child in area. We'll be hearing more about that as well in her talks. That just demonstrates that being a radiologist, her role expands not only with the images but also into societal change. She's also a very hardworking person. She believes in turning the opportunities to her favor, turning negatives into positives, and building them further. She's also a team player, so that everybody grows together. So very happy to be vibing with her today. And if you look at her, yes, she is an utterly young woman at heart. She's someone who's always ready for a fight and flight response, which means, yes, she loves traveling. She also loves learning new things. She's been learning to, fly an aircraft. She's done a lot of travels, like gone to Churchill, Canada. She's hung with the polar bear. She's seen the northern lights. She's also sailed on an expedition across the Antarctic Circle. So if you see this woman, also, like you've seen her with the crown, she is the winner. She's the Mrs. India Queen of Substance pageant 2019, that too at the age of 48. So again, we'll hear more about that as well from Dr. Sona herself. So she is quite the Mrs. Trendsetter, as she's generally called upon. So with that, without further ado, Dr. Sona, trust me, it's such a pleasure to have you with us today. Dr. Pranjali, over to you for the first segment with Dr. Sona.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ritu. And it was lovely to know. And when we were going to your profile, it was amazing to see your profile, ma'am. And really excited to know journey behind this crown. So my first segment is about the journey beyond labels, the women behind the crown. We often see milestones, we celebrate, success is celebrated, but most of the time we often miss how the struggles and how the person is reaches to that, level or the success. So, ma'am, I would like to know more about this behind success behind the crown. Uh, Tell us about the journey behind it and who is Dr. Sona beyond the titles.
Yeah, it's a very nice question and very close to my heart because I think that when I think about impacting the women around me, whoever it may be, my colleagues or it may be my juniors, the lessons that I learned while striving to achieve the crown were something which I find them very impactful even now in my own life and a lot to learn for others from that. Why do I say that is because if you know me, I'm less than 5 feet in height. I was 48 when I tried to participate in a pageant. And I'm not the kind, I mean, I have style, I dress well, I understand beauty, I carry myself well, but I was not the glamorous kind where I would like to kind of, show off or outdo or, stand out or something. It was a part of me, which was, it was my personality to look good, but it didn't make me a pageant qualification. It didn't give me that pageant qualification. So it was totally a new thing for me. But what is very important to say at this point is that I maintain an affirmation diary, and I had written in 2006 that I will be a pageant winner. I
Wow.
had written I had written Mrs. World, and I canceled that and then I made it Mrs. India. That was in way back in 2006. So that after that, it kept playing in my mind that I need to explore, and I would keep looking out for pageants and read about them and call up those centers. And then first thing they would ask me is my height, and second thing is I would not have participated in a costume round given my background or my personality. So I was like, how do I actually win a pageant? So it was contradictory to the whole thing that I want to win a pageant and I'm not going to do certain things and I don't have the height. So how does it come together? But I'm very optimistic and I did not give up on that. And everybody I spoke to, like my brother is in the event industry, and I would speak to him. He said, "No, Sona, that's all not great for people like us. You shouldn't think about it. You shouldn't participate." And they wouldn't say on my face that you're too short, but they were just their way of saying that, this is not good for us, etc., etc. I took it well. I listened to all of them, but I did not give up on my dream. And in 2000, and then I got very busy with career, etc., etc. You know how much we have to do on all fronts, family, etc. So I kind of kept it as a back burner. And in 2019, when again I had free time, I was traveling somewhere. I came across this pageant, which was Mrs. India Queen of Substance,
Okay.
and that meant that that gave me hope that it may not be only related to the physical appearance, and there must be more to it. And I called them up and I checked. The first thing I asked them is, "I'm 5 feet. Can I participate?" And they said yes. And that was like, oh wow. So there is a pageant made for me type of thing. And but I did not know anything about how do you participate and win in a pageant. I thought when I enroll, when I'm selected, they would tell me how to do it. So the easiest part was getting selected because I was generally good looking in photographs, and I spoke well on the interviews, etc. And I
Okay.
got selected. But then after that, what? And then that was the time that I started scrambling. 1 month just passed by. I just had 5 months more to go. I realized I needed coaches, I needed to learn, I needed somebody to help me with my wardrobe and so many things. And I went step by step, I learned to do that. And I did not give up on everything that I had wanted to do within that pageant. So that was the thing that there's a whole big thing that I like out of that pageant, how many things went wrong, but I still made it to win. Even till the last day, there were things which were going wrong. So the finally, when I did win the crown, there were some people who stayed back there to congratulate me even after all the festivities were done. They were part of the audience who did not know me. And they said that we heard everybody, but you were the one we felt you were genuine, you were yourself, you were not pretending to be anything other than what you said you were. And that is the woman behind the crown, if I may tell
Wow.
you that it I did look good that day, I did speak well that day, but everything was authentic, everything was genuine, and that made the difference. And I think the judges as well as the audience could make out. So if
Super.
that answers your question.
Yes, ma'am. So, do you believe in manifestations? Because I can truly see like you have writing it down and affirmations,
Yes.
and I think purely the manifestation and authenticity. If you're genuine, you can achieve your goals in life. So that was
Yes.
amazing, ma'am. Ma'am, my next question to you is: growing up, did you always envision such a multifaceted journey for yourself? And what has been the biggest turning point in your life?
So when I was growing up, I did not think too much ahead. I only knew one thing is that I wanted to be independent. I came from a Gujarati business family. So, there is a stereotype woman in that house,
Yeah.
which I couldn't see myself play into that role. And I wanted to be fiercely independent. And in those days, for a woman, it would be either an engineer or a doctor. And I thought in that time, doctor had more status. I did see that in my school. The children of doctors were treated special and the parents were treated different. So it played in my mind somewhere that I needed to be a doctor and break away from the Gujarati business family stereotype. Not that there was anything wrong in that. If I chose that, that was also a great life. But I did not feel I could fit into that. And so I only thought that much that I would be independent, and then I took up medicine. And but I was very optimistic, always. And the turning point for me was when my dad presented me with a book when I was only about 9, 10 years old, which was "Bring Out the Magic in Your Mind" by Al Quran.
Okay.
And that somehow stayed with me. And I did those, what you said about manifestation. I wrote the diaries, I made that. And everything that I wrote in that diary as a child, as a 9-year-old, 10-year-old, has come true.
Wow.
And including what kind of husband I would have, including that I would never be in the kitchen. And I have written about a red Ferrari in that, which I still don't have, but I know it's possible now. My choices are different. I think in Bombay, you don't need a Ferrari to prove to yourself that a dream has come true. But that I think that was a turning point for me. My dad giving me a book in which I could start believing in myself and coming to understand that nothing is impossible if you fix your mind
Definitely,
on it
definitely.
and do the work. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Really great listening to you, ma'am. My last question to you, ma'am. As a radiologist, teacher, social worker, speaker, or a beauty queen, which role has shaped you the most?
So I would say being a radiologist has been the most fulfilling part of my life. I have been very fortunate that I had a husband who showed me the way to become a radiologist. I wanted to become a surgeon at first, but then when I met him and I saw his quality of work and the dedication he had and the understanding, I decided to take up radiology. But that time we had the dark rooms, and not many girls wanted to take up uh, radiology because it was hard work. We had those bronchial artery embolizations, there was radiation, there was dark room. All that was hard work, so nobody wanted to do it as ladies. But then I picked up well, and luckily for me, Ajit encouraged me to learn more, uh, ex- to go towards the chances that he didn't have. He had to immediately start working and earn for the family once he got his degree. I had a chance to work more, I mean, learn more. So that was a time when CTMR was becoming very popular. And I went back from being a consultant in sonography to a trainee resident in MRI in Nanavati. And that's where an old machine was changed into the most recent one, which was like one of the few in the world at that time. There was not enough literature, and we were the first ones doing certain things. So that gave me another turning point where I could learn the new technology and bring it to India as one of the pioneers, and that laid the foundation of the radiology experience that I have now as advanced MR techniques with MR spectroscopy, fetal MR, breast MR, which nobody was doing at that time. And then I started training other people. So while I trained them, I became better and better, more organized, and then I got the opportunity to work with Tata Hospital because of the things that I had started. They needed for their practice, and that's how my whole multidisciplinary team and academics and all that came about. So radiology is the way. Yes, being participating
At
in a
the center,
pageant.
and then rest of the roles you
Yeah,
started choosing
yeah.
after that. Amazing, ma'am. Thank you so much for your inputs. And now over to you, Dr. Rukia, for the next thing.
Yeah.
Ma'am, wonderful. It's been hearing from you about your journey. And my segment is about winning the crown. This interplay of beauty, body, and the mind. The wonderful part was you were very clear in your idea that I want to be Mrs. India. I want to be the Mrs. India world, but I have my rules. I will not do these rounds. I will, something which is acceptable. And I think, the universe really found you something which you wanted to
Yes.
do it, and, somehow beauty pageants are usually visualized as a display of body and beauty, while mind, which is actually what begins the journey, that is not what is really displayed well. So while we are talking about this segment, I want you to go back through those memory lanes. You said you wanted to do it. I want to take you back there and ask, why did you wanted to be Mrs. India queen?
I asked
What was
myself
that
that question
inspiration?
many times, that
Yes.
why did I want to win the pageant? What was so important for me? And
Hmm.
it was just, I think, the curiosity about how do you navigate this space and learn the things that enhance your beauty, or how do you present yourself? What is grooming? What is the
Right.
best possible dressing? How do you make yourself up?
Hmm.
That was the uh, curiosity. I am very curious about everything. So
Hmm.
this was one place which I was very curious about. That how do these people make themselves like that? And how do you do? So I learned that, and that was the learning. There was, I needed 6 to 7 coaches to teach me even how to speak. There was a young girl, she was just 21, was training me how to speak when they asked me
Okay.
questions. And there was a lady who was training me to for my talent round, where I made a logo of Raksha in 1.5
Okay.
minutes with colors, with the
Okay.
poetry that ran in the background, and I was dressed as Mani Karnika. So
Acha.
then you interacted with the designer, then you interacted with somebody who taught you how to walk, how to make up your introduction. And so all that thing, I really found it very challenging, especially when I had to do it along with my practice. So nothing stopped. I was head of department in a hospital. I was attached as a senior consultant to two other hospitals. I ran my own centers. So doing all that and then going there and getting trained, and then the coach having disbelief in you because she was training another younger, more potential female who was taller and who was slimmer than me and more likely to win the crown, and then not looking at me, and then I getting calls, and then I reporting on a computer an emergency case, and all that thing was quite a challenge that I had to overcome. And then there was several mishaps which happened during that time as I was preparing for the pageant.
Mhm.
But that created the humility that now I have. I'm a different person after the pageant.
Mhm.
And connecting the dots retrospectively is something I like to
Mhm.
really reflect upon. That, okay, it started with writing down that I want to be a Mrs. India, I want to win a
Mhm.
pageant. But how did
Mhm.
the dots connect? Whom did I meet? Whom am I grateful to? And how did the things pan out? So that was very exciting and still is because
Yes.
it's just not something which happened by the way. It was something which
Mhm.
got created because I was perseverant about the whole thing.
Right. Actually. And what does this crown symbolize for you? Is it like, your achievement for your perseverance or something else? What does this crown that you have won symbolize it?
It is symbolizing my belief in the manifestation process,
Mhm.
and that I can learn from there and achieve bigger goals and help other people to learn the manifestation process as I have learned. I have learned it slowly over a period of time and become good at it. So how did it happen? So if you go to see that pageant was in existence for 10 years before I
Mhm.
found it. But when the timing
Mhm.
was right for me and the universe thought that I was ready for it, having done my social work of Raksha. So if I had the
Right.
pageant 5 years before, I wouldn't have had the social background where I would get the necessary points, or I would not have my traditional dress designer whom I met after that. So those
Mhm.
things make me understand how universe helps you to achieve things which are at the time which is right for you, not premature, not afterwards. So,
Right. Right.
so
Lovely. Ma'am, competition among women is has been, it's generally so the brotherhood is like a bromance, but sisterhood does is not how it is portrayed. It is generally portrayed very nasty. And how was your experience at the event? How important was sisterhood and collaborations at such stages? Did you experience something, or you
yeah,
said it
that
was
was a.
wonderful?
It's a very nice question that you asked because there's a learning in that I kind of remind
Mm,
myself. There, we two, three people got together and we kind of formed a support system for each other because everybody was nervous and
mm,
didn't know how things would play out, and so
mm,
there was a support system we created and helped when there was a need. We would be there for that person, and
mm,
there was a lady who was thinking that the sponsors are or the organizers are favoring somebody and there's some what do you
mm,
call favoritism going on, and
mm,
like, we will not win, that type of a thing. And I had to help her understand, no, no, just stay away from these thoughts. These things don't, it's not like that. You are kind of making it go around in your head and making yourself nervous. So I did support her when it was needed. We were actually the most closest competitors to each other. We both knew that, we are the two strong
mm,
contenders as far as personality was concerned. And
mm,
then I realized that she was going so negative that I distanced myself from her mentally. Means I would be there for
mm,
her, what she needed, I would give, but I kept my mind not succumbing to the thoughts that she had, and that was so much
mm.
important for me to win the
Yes.
pageant. And she was taller than me, slimmer than me, younger than me by 10 years, and she came up as the second runner up. and I got the
Okay.
crown. And I think that
Mhm.
was because of the mindset. So the sisterhood thing, there I learned that you can support others without your mind getting uh, plagued by the thoughts that they are having or they are suffering. You could keep it apart and
Mhm.
but still be there as a support. And that I
Mhm.
think now I use that in my rest of my conduct with maybe my staff or my colleagues
Mhm.
in
Mhm.
medicine.
Yeah, it's would get otherwise very emotionally exhausting as well. So, it just keeps
But
you to yourself.
yeah, but every time there was an opportunity, the girls came together and they supported each other. So that was
Yes.
quite a revelation that although we were competing, we knew when we have to
Mhm.
answer the questions, we'll be competitors. But here we need each other, we are supporting each other. And that was the best time, actually, the fun girl time that we had.
Yes, truly. I think, when women get together, the energy is just blooming.
Yes.
So that's wonderful. Yeah. Ma'am, there are multiple misconceptions about, when people enroll to a pageant. Like you said, your family also had this, they didn't tell you directly that you should not do it, but there were other sides of things which your brother was trying to show you that, oh, you should not participate in such pageants. And, people have these conceptions about women who participate in it. And so, what do you think? How can a women rediscover themselves after, years of prioritizing others?
I lost you for a minute, few
Yeah.
seconds. Can you say the
So,
last thing again?
yeah. So, ma'am, what misconceptions do people have
Yes,
about
got the
pageants
pageant.
and women
Yeah.
who participate in it? And also,
Yeah.
how can women rediscover themselves after years of prioritizing everyone else?
Okay, so the pageant, when I myself went there, I was so surprised at the confidence that women had, the participants had. There were some who were
Mhm.
uh, housewives, some who were engineers, some who had already won pageants, but some of them even traveled across the world. They were from Australia, US. And
Mm.
I asked them, I said, why do you do this? What is important for you in this? And what are you learning? So they said, we just feel that we are becoming better and better versions of ourselves. And that really impacted me quite a bit. I said that they believed in that thing completely. They were very professional. Everybody I interacted with, from the coaches to the participants to the organizers, it was a very professional uh, environment, just like we have it in medicine. And they were giving it their best. Like my coach wouldn't allow me being 1 minute late. She
Okay.
would be completely switching off her phone while she was training me. She put her heart into, like even if I called her at 10 in the night, 12 in the night, she was concerned, empathetic towards what's happening. So that was a little bit of a surprise for me. I was not expecting that kind of a behavior when we thought only medicine has that. But discovering that in the pageant side was interesting. And I think the women themselves are already high achievers. They are here to kind of complement their side where they want to say something to the world, or they want other people. Like, say, for me, the sole purpose many times has just been that younger women should learn from me, that there were so many things which I as a girl next door, could achieve just by training my mind or doing certain practices or reading certain books. They should learn from that. I think most of them had that goal there, that we want other people to see how easy it is
Mm.
to come up in life. And the pageant, luckily, that which I participated in did not have so much of focus on the uh, experiences of the physical appearances of the physical
Mm.
part of the pageant, like you didn't have
Mm.
costume rounds or something. But everybody there was, in spite of not having that costume round, they were projecting the best that they could be in terms of beauty, in terms of physical appearance. And there was nothing wrong in that. It was creativity at its best. It was kind of stretching yourselves to the max that you could, and trying to go better than what you had done previously was, I think that was the main thing about the pageant, and not just the beauty side of it. How, if you must
Mm-hmm.
know, the judging actually started from the time you stepped into the hotel to register yourself and in the place. They had people all around you who were moving around and interacting with you. It could be the staff, it could be support, like, some audiovisual technician, and they were actually giving feedback to the organizers about everything that you were doing, interacting throughout. So the pageant is just not about how you look in that
That day.
dress, or how is your makeup done, or how is your hair done. It's the bundle that you are, along with your how comfortable you are, how easy caring comes to you, or how easy respect comes to you. Is it part of you, or are you pretending? Those were the things that it made up. These things made up most of the pageant, I think.
Right.
And the other thing is, your second question was that about prioritizing and how do you reinvent yourself after prioritizing. So one thing I differ here very much is I do not say that with a lot of emphasis and pride that we are prioritizing. We are doing what we are meant to do as women. We have a role in a society which we have accepted,
Mm.
and it's a beautiful role where we are supportive. We do things that we have to do. So, for example, if I did get selected in a pageant, if my mother-in-law was sick, I would not participate. It's as simple as that. You have to understand your priorities and do things, and not feel that, okay, because I gave up my participation
Mm.
because my mother-in-law is unwell, I have lost out on something. There will be another opportunity to participate, know, learn,
Mm.
feel, enjoy. So I think that thing that women struggle with, that we are prioritizing, we must help them cope with understanding, no, it's you do it because you're answerable to yourself. You are not doing it because you want if in that example, you're not doing it because you want your mother-in-law to say that
Right.
you did something. You are doing it because you want to sleep well at night, and you want to be a good wife to your husband and a good daughter-in-law to your mother-in-law. That is why you do
Right.
it. So that whole
Mm-hmm.
concept about prioritizing
Mm-hmm.
is not right. We should be confident that the time will be there for us to do everything and not
Mm.
miss out on anything. And it
Mm.
can be done at any stage in life. It's not necessary that you have to do certain things at a certain time. It could be, and we should prioritize, and that's what makes us have the invisible crown that we have on our heads with our
Mm-hmm.
families. So
Mm-hmm.
at any time you can reinvent yourself. It's not a big deal. If we are curious, if we are excited, we will.
Absolutely, ma'am. You just showed that, I'm sure today you're also inspiring other women who have this little teeny dream, as children, when you're looking at Aishwarya Rai and Sushmita Sen's, and we have all grown up watching those pageants, and, it's like, yeah, this is so beautiful, and, I want to do this. And somewhere while life is moving on, you just keep that aside. I'm sure, like you said, you can reinvent yourself whenever you want to, and you can come back to it even later and
Yeah.
pick that and go ahead with it. Wonderful, ma'am. And truly, you are a woman of substance. So, yes, you absolutely fit the crown very well.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Over to you, Lotika, uh, on your segment.
Thank you, Dr. Rukaya. So it's really very inspiring hearing your story about the pageant and all that you have done, Dr. Sona. So our next segment is about womanhood and identity. We all know that, being a doctor in today's times itself is a huge achievement because there's so many who do not make it. And then to be a radiologist and working so hard, spending so much time in all these dark rooms, or even working on newer, CT, MRI, things like that. That must have been itself a huge struggle, and setting up, clinics, multiple clinics, managing them. Yet you still chose to, enhance your life and live your dreams by then choosing to follow your, goals of that you had written when you were a 9-year-old, to become a beauty, to participate in a beauty pageant and become a beauty queen. We see a lot of women who have missed opportunities, because of age, because of the family support, family lack of support, or probably family choices, or also career commitments. But also, we've also seen a lot of self-accomplished women who struggle with their worth, their self-worth. Why do women underestimate themselves?
Mm, I think because I think it's a lot to do with the families and how they've brought up. So luckily for
Mm-hmm.
me, my dad, although it was a Gujarati business family, and my mom was not very literate. She had kind of just done up to 10th standard. We had some liberal thoughts in the family, and they would not consider a girl and a boy, my younger brother and me, different. And that kind of shaped me having more self worth than normally I would find other women have. And I think it's a lot to do with the upbringing. What are you being told in the house when you're young, by the family, by the father, by the
That's
brother, elder brothers? But now I think that doesn't hold true as much as it used to be when we were young, because that time we did not have so much influence from uh, the social media, etc., etc. Now we have women all around us who are high achievers and role models to follow. So having low self-worth, maybe because you don't work on yourself to improve, maybe you don't put in that much dedication, maybe you are not true to yourself when you say that I will do that. Those things may
true.
be the ones which allow you to remain with low self-worth. So all of us start like that. We don't start with super confidence. We are not born with that. We also have our insecurities, but we build on them slowly, slowly. Say, for example, I used to just be a student who just passed. I used to sometimes even get red lines when I was young in fifth, sixth standard. But then I told you, my dad gave me the book, and I learned how to work on myself and grow and become a first ranker and then a doctor, etc. So if we have this, if we do get a cue and somebody shows us the way that there is a way to change, to learn, to grow, and we don't do that, then we remain with low self worth. So I think everybody starts at the same level. How we take it forward from there depends on us. and
Yes.
and
So
we should not feel shy about asking for support, asking how do I reach there, taking help
mhm,
from people who we idolize as better than us or where we want to reach. I
mhm.
think that is important to help people who,
Yeah.
women who think that they have
Yes.
low self-worth.
Mhm. Okay. So that's nice. Yeah, that's so nice, working on yourself and working on your dreams. And but women do also have another turning point in their life, which is motherhood. Some people feel that that's a stalling point. Some people feel that probably they need to uh, turn down gears and spend more time looking after the children and nurturing them and all that. So still, how important is it to get back post having children, to get back into the workforce, or to say reinvent yourself at that point of time?
So it's a nice question, and I've grappled with it myself many times. But I chose to not be a mother. My husband and I decided that we did not want kids. So I don't have first-hand experience from this. But learning
Okay.
and observing from other people, what are my thoughts on that, I will share with you. Like, say you have a maid who works at your place and who doesn't have enough
Mhm.
possibilities to earn ways to earn money other than she supporting her children, elder children also. Like if she could have multiple children, sorry, and she has to get back to work, she doesn't have a choice, she does get back. So my simple answer to this is, what do we say to ourselves? What choices do we give ourselves? And if we do have to take a break, first of all, we do not feel guilty that we have to take a break. It's part of life, it's part of experiencing certain things which you made a choice about, or you want to give to your family, to your husband. So that's completely all right. You come back after a while, give yourself that space that, okay, you may have to work a little bit more on yourself if you've missed out on a year or so, learning, coping up, start slow, build the pace,
Yeah.
and all that is fine. And just give yourself permission to do that instead of fearing that I will not be as efficient as I was before. Do I need to do this? Do I need to do both the roles? Can I not
Yes.
sit at home? Like, no, those are the things that it's again how you speak to
True.
yourself about these points.
That's nice. So, have there been moments where you have doubted yourself for the classical imposter syndrome? And what does confidence mean to you today? Because I know I see you, you're bursting with confidence. And what does it mean today as compared to what it did about 10 years ago?
Yeah, so imposter syndrome, yes, I have suffered from it many, many times. But I've faced it squarely into the face and kind of worked on it, telling myself I don't believe in myself at this moment, but I will do these things, and I will make myself feel worthy of that position or that situation. There are many, many times I felt that way. I gave you the example that I was not a very good student to begin with, but I worked myself up. And then if you've not been the same from the start, you always question yourself. Is this the first rank I deserve? Is this the distinction that I deserve? Have I done well enough? Is this really the right uh, level that I have reached? And those were the questions. Then, when I became head of imaging CTMR in Global Hospital, going from a second position to head the department, that time I used to feel, oh, do I know how to talk to the staff? Or do I know admin? But I was willing to learn. I had an open mind, and I overcame those things at every session, every situation that I faced. And the same thing with recent merger that we had, our centers, SDRC, we have a merger now with a company called MedGenome. And when I started again with that goal, I did not know, I wanted to have a company with worth X crores. I started with that simple thing after I gave up my corporate practice, hospital practice, and joined my husband in private practice. And I said, how do I do it? Is my practice worth that much? Is it really, how do I do it? And the thing was asking the right people, going out, meeting people, learning about it, taking training, hand holding, coaching. So the same thing I did here, what I did in the pageant. I had a coach who trained me. I attended courses. I so those steps got me to the point where I actually understood how to bring that level of thing to my business and get an exit exactly on the date that I had decided. It was March 26. So it's all, imposter syndrome is never going to be not there. We are all going to have to face it. But again, how you speak to yourself, how you take help, how you get yourself coached by people who have been there before you, how you get mentored, and put in the hard work.
That's so interesting, and it creates a good insight into the other aspect of being a doctor and all the challenges that you face. I now hand over to Dr. Kavita Rane for the next segment.
Thank you, Dr. Latika. Hi, ma'am. Good afternoon. It's
Good
been
afternoon.
so amazing listening to what you've been saying and things about the mind and things about manifestation. And I can relate to it because there have been certain times when we have also manifested, like we manifested this Wednesday Vibe Live, and it really came true. And it has been amazing. So, this next segment is on true leadership, purpose through service, and route legacy. So, living in a patriarchal society, some set norms may be roadblocks for women moving wholly towards their dreams. So, leadership is when you not only break those glass ceilings, but also create opportunities for others. Beyond your professional achievements, you've invested in social causes, ma'am. So, what drives your commitment to community service? Can you share an example with us?
Yes. So, something which even was a surprise to me about how you bring about a social change was when I started thinking on the PCP entity problem that radiologists faced. And I would feel very strongly about our community, the radiology community, that we did not deserve that label that we were getting about abortionists and people
Right.
who discriminated between the sexes.
Correct. Hmm.
And I would, I didn't know how to cope up, and the first reaction was to fight with the
Hmm.
government, uh,
Hmm.
resist what they were implementing, the laws, etc. So we did that as radiologists. We went on strikes, we did etc. etc. But that was not the real answer. It wouldn't solve the problem. And then I looked around and I said that okay, we are trying to say we are not doing this. We are not these people who are doing this. Then are we really conveying to the community who we are? Are we telling the government who we are? And that's how I changed the narrative from fighting to projecting the truth into the community. And I started Raksha. And that came about saying that let's do something which differentiates us. Let's let the actions speak rather than just we talking. And we started doing small community things about going to schools, municipal schools, talking to kids, girl kids, and talking to women in the slums, donating sanitary pads, etc., etc. Like a long list of things we started doing, and then projecting that to the government that this is what we are doing. And every meeting of radiology, we would invite the PCPNDT medical officer to participate, be present, and understand what we are doing. And slowly there was a lot of resistance for in our association to do this. Nobody believed in this, that anything would change with this. And it started in Maharashtra and Aurangabad in a small way with me going and first giving a lecture, inviting a lady from Jalgaon to speak who was a social worker. It started with all that, and then it got adopted as a national program of IRI, Indian Radiology and Imaging Association. And now it is there in all the states of India, and women are leading it. But more importantly, the radiology men are supporting it because they see that this is making an impact. And we don't have the
That's
backlash now that we have from
amazing.
society. Yeah.
Correct.
So, but it required courage to and perseverance again to make them understand. I had to go from state to state to talk to the state associations and convince them. So I traveled all the way up to Manipur and Assam and Kerala and Rajasthan and Kashmir to get them to understand what we are doing and participate. So now it's a full-fledged program which is there in all our uh, conferences, and it has really impacted a lot. So that is one example I could give
Wow.
you.
That is amazing, ma'am. It shows us how resilient you are and how you have taken the whole team of doctors along with you, focused on one goal and one outcome, and not being confused about it. So I believe you manifested all of that as well, and
Yeah.
it truly shows through this example. So how can we create more ecosystems where women speak collaboration rather than compare or judge each other? Tell us about a woman who opened a door for you or just supported you straight through and through without any judgment.
Yeah, so the first thought which comes to my mind is I've lived in a joint family. So it's my mom and my aunt always allowing me to pursue my career. They didn't kind of tell me you got to make tea for me when I wake up, or
Yes.
yeah,
Right.
it's a support I got from the family that they would make sure that I was ready for the exams. I had the food that I wanted, whatever support I needed, mental as well, and accommodating my friends when we had to do group studies, etc., etc. Like the list is very long. Wake up for me at 4, make tea. So I would start crying if I spoke about that. But from the side of my colleagues, I must mention there is one lady, Dr. Flora, who's from Tamil Nadu and also trying to do the same thing that you all are trying to do in general medicine. They are trying to do it with the radiology fraternity for bringing the women together. She is running a program called Shakti. That's where the pamphlet which I sent you. She creates these awards for us, women who are doing something other than radiology. So she was one woman who again persisted a lot to bring out. I did not want to participate in that the Shakti in terms of pressures of the time and the merger that was going on, etc., etc. But she kind of followed up so much on me that I felt obliged to um, participate and share what I had learned over the years. So these kind of women, I think, women like you, your team, we need more people who understand the impact that this has. Even like, say, for example, just talking to you all, the thoughts which go into my mind about after this, how I want to impact more women. I think that also comes out of this effort that you all are putting.
Yeah.
And
I
ecosystems,
understand.
low socioeconomic groups, I think there is something where we could create some impact. I am looking at some options about how reaching out to women who are into provide making handicrafts, who are actual artists. I haven't yet had the time, but it's in the back of my mind that at some point I want to help them, young women entrepreneurs who are skilled, lend them money, create a support system, etc., etc. But it will take time
Wow.
for it to mount.
Wow. I mean, I love those ideas that you have, and it's like someone said, there's a rose, and it will create and create fragrance around it, and as long as it is there. So I believe that a whole lot of roses coming together, like what you said, women coming together, they're going to
Yeah.
make their own fragrant, and they're going to
Yes.
spread that beautiful fragrance all around, no matter how and what the other outer environment would be. So that is amazing. One quick one. What kind of legacy do you hope to leave for the next generation of women?
I think I would like to leave a legacy of courage, optimism, and empathy for the women, and that they should believe in themselves, learn to work on themselves, and keep growing, keep their curiosity alive, and embrace the new things that are coming along, and not fear, not not worry about them or not be fearful of them. Embrace them and learn and see what max you can do to help your family and your community through those times.
And not self-doubt. I'm
No,
sure.
sir.
No self-doubt. Amazing, ma'am. Thank you very much. It has been super enlightening. So over to Dr. Ritu for the next segment.
Lovely. So, I'm just mesmerized, Dr. Sona, as you're speaking. And, the best part is the calm demeanor which you've kept all throughout. I think for the humility, the calmness, and yes, I do remember Dr. Sona earlier, but Dr. Sona now, and so much has happened in between. It's so good to hear you and learn about all of this. So we have the next, which is the audience segment, which is really getting popular these days. So we try to get questions from people who reach out to us as well. So a couple of questions come from there. What qualities actually define a strong woman leader in today?
Um, so the ability to do hard work,
Hmm.
learn new things, be a team player,
Love.
and believe in what you're saying and doing. Not give up when the road gets tough, and be inclusive.
That's truly very important. I agree. And from inclusivity, then comes in, I think, the next question that despite of the fact that as a country, as a nation, we've progressed a lot. Globally, we've progressed a lot. But then still there is gender disparity which exists. We still live in a patriarchal society. Did you ever face it personally, the gender disparity? Of course, you mentioned that there was backlashes and there was disbelief, but then anything that you want to add on to that?
Yes, I have faced it uh, without doubt many times. Usually, it's I've been lucky. Like you could face gender disparity in the family and at
Yeah.
work. Those are the two
Yes.
places that you could face. I have been lucky I didn't face it in my family, but
Wonderful.
at work, yes, definitely. You cannot be a man who will go out for a smoke and have small chat or comment on a picture which is not so great, or have a late night dinner and drink. And so you are going to have that difference. And whenever a woman does well, the men, however close they may be, they do find it intimidating that they don't want you to have it all easy.
Yes.
And I've had that. And but I have said to myself that okay, this is the situation. How do I make the most of it? I find an alternative way to direct my energy instead of too much of confrontation. I speak my mind. I let them know that I know what you're doing, but I get out from that space and find myself a new space
Wow.
and grow there. So, for example, like the reason why I moved from corporate hospitals to private practice was one of them was that uh, there was a letdown there, and I am very happy that I took that decision and moved and did not let that put me down and continue working in that environment. I moved and looked for another opportunity and made it big there. So I think at each time I've done that. And a
Wonderful.
beautiful thing, a bigger thing which I never imagined has come out of it. So I think it's going to be there. We face it, we accept it, we learn to live with it, and still um, come out in come out a winner in another place. Like so, you've been a winner there. You move
Correct.
out, become a winner in another place, and
Right. It's not just,
because
like,
yeah, it's not necessary to be there and prove them wrong or prove them that you are better than them, or there's no need to prove anything. Just do what
yeah.
is important for you and maintain your peace and make your choices right.
I think what I look at it from my perspective or the audience perspective is clearly that, rather than wasting your energies on to proving things to somebody which is not going to really make a difference or impact, I think, great is that you've diverted your energies into creating something more beautiful and then win even in those fields. That is an amazing answer to give. And I'm sure, all of us would use that for our benefits as well. From that stems my another question, which is, we do, like you said, that, men are, of course, looked at from a different lens, and so are women as well. Traditionally, there are certain beliefs that follow. Of course, you're lucky that, you've had a great family support. But at the same time, looking at the overall scenario, if I'm generalizing it, that women are judged harshly. If they're ambitious, oh my God, I mean, it's always looked upon. Why do you really need an ambition? Yes, we educate girls. Yes, that's just a tick mark. Oh, yes, we want them. But beyond the point, there is still that scared feeling that, oh my God, if my daughter does get educated too much, would she get married? Is what, people used to think earlier. Do you think expectations from women are different and those from men are different? As you exactly said that, when men see you getting something, they always feel it's because of the gender you get it, and they don't want you to get it that easy. So do you think the expectations are different?
When a woman is successful and a man is successful, is that what you're asking?
Yes.
Expectations? Yes.
Yeah.
Uh, a successful woman. Can you help me understand your
Right.
question again?
I'll rephrase the question. So it's basically that, when a man goes to work versus when a woman goes to work. So, for the man, if he's working hard for a promotion, that's okay,
Ah,
right? But if the woman is working hard, oh my God, you're supposed to be looking at the house. Why do you need to work extra hours? You're getting your salary just like a tick mark. So, do you see that difference? Do you see that, there is a, because you have multiple roles to play back at home.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, the
So
patriarchy.
I am very underqualified to answer that question because again, when I got married with my mother-in-law being very supportive and my husband being very supportive, I've never faced that. If I had a commitment to deliver on the work front, I was supported to do it. So I've never faced that being ambitious, etc., etc. It was always that there is work and it has to be done. So I don't think it should be looked at in any different way because if you are a professional, you are a professional. You have to make sure that you deliver what is needed from you. How you manage your time is your problem. Of course, yes, a woman has much more responsibility than a man has, but then at that point, you decide that how much you are going to be able to do. But what you commit to do, yes, get it done.
Right.
And expectations from a family coming, like if a mother-in-law is demanding, or I think all of us now are so good at everything that we do that we know how to juggle between things and maintain all the fronts well. I'm sure all of you do that.
Multitask.
Uh, Multitasking and get better and better at that, I think, is the way to go. And but the
Right.
expectations should not be different. I think just because we have multiple roles to play, we cannot expect that we could get away by being less professional. And at the same time, we cannot put those up as excuses there. You can't be in a surgery and think that, okay, I have somewhere to go, let me wrap this up fast. It's not possible. So in that way, I think expectations should be both. There's nothing about a woman different from a man when she's working, I think, is the way I look at it.
That's wonderful because, yes, when it comes to medical care, it has to be agnostic of the gender, right? It's a service that we are providing, and of course, yes, why not if the skill is the same, right? Wonderfully answered, Dr. Sona. So we now move on to the last segment, which is the fun segment of the entire session. This is the rapid fire, which is known as Pulse of Life for us. I'm going to quickly switch gears and throw 10 questions at you. Instinctively, whatever comes to your mind, please answer those so that both of us can have a lot of fun. So, are you ready?
Yes.
Wonderful. So, first one, crown or stethoscope? Dr. Sona
Stethoscope.
first. Wow, lovely. One word, just one word that describes your journey.
Exciting.
Lovely. One person who inspires you.
My mom.
Love that. Uh, a myth about successful women.
That they had it easy and they didn't have to work hard for it. So uh,
Superb. I like it
they
the way
didn't
you put
deserve it.
it. True. One thing that you think women must stop apologizing for.
About prioritizing yourself at times. I think it's keep refilling your cup so that you can pour much more outside, is what I look at. Saying, take time to
Lovely.
be supportive to yourself.
Wonderful. Beauty to you means.
Being comfortable in your skin and true to your heart.
Lovely. That's a beautiful answer. The best compliment you've ever received. This is going to be tough because there are so many.
No, thank you. Uh, I can't. I think it's a quiet compliment. It's not like a verbalized compliment, but I think my husband thinks I'm a good companion. I think that would suffice. I
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I think life is very easy if your companion feels that. So I think that's yes, given the best compliment ever. And I clearly see the camaraderie between you and Dr. Ajit. So God bless you
Yeah.
both. One thing that is still on your bucket list, though I know I heard about the red Ferrari, but I'm still going to give you a chance to say a dream that you're pursuing. What would that be?
Yeah, so the red Ferrari is not very exciting now that I can
Awesome.
afford. I am more excited about visiting the space,
Wow, that's
trip,
lovely.
trip to the space. Yeah, so that's on my bucket list.
Super. So when you go to this space, at least we're happy. We know that we have our star speaker visiting there.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
and you see this. I have written this again when I was a kid, and there was no space travel, and now it's coming true. So
Super. Yeah. I think your manifestation book really needs copies. We would
yeah,
love to read those. Three words that define Dr. Sona Pungankar or Sona.
optimism, empathy, and courage.
Oh, lovely. All three of them very powerful and absolutely represent you so beautifully. Finally, the last one. What crown do you wear every day which is not visible?
So I look at myself as having the responsibility of adding value to every life that touches me. That every person who comes in contact with me should take away something which is valuable and which will enhance their lives or their situation, is what I try to live by. I don't know how many times I am able to achieve that, but at least I have that awareness of that contributing.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Dr. Sona. I think that was absolutely sharp, sincere, and authentic. Exactly like what the audience told you at the Mrs. India Queen 2019. That you spoke so genuinely that it really touched our hearts, and I'm sure that's happened with the audience as well. So, with that, may I request Kavita to take us through the closing, please?
Thanks, Dr. Ratu. With this, ma'am, it has been such an amazing afternoon spending time with you, getting to know you, your resilience and giving nature, and the courage behind all of it to reach and achieve your goals. We have learned a lot, and thank you so much for spending time with us this afternoon. I'd like to reiterate at least a few things that I have learned and all of us have learned this afternoon. So, for me, it has been manifestation, like literally writing down what you see, the way you see, right, from your partner.
Yeah, yeah.
And I mean, that is just amazing. And like what you said about the growth mindset, that really resonates with me. Everyone should have an open mind towards learning and the growth mindset. And people around you need to have the growth mindset, or else they're just going to pull you down. That is the other
Yeah.
thing that we learned this afternoon. So over to Dr. Rukia for her learning today.
Okay, sir.
Rukia's on mute. Dr.
Yes.
Lautika can take. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead,
Okay.
Rukia.
So, Dr. Sona, you are such a, strong but a calm person at the same time. And you come across as somebody very powerful. Maybe you have learned this talent, or you have really worked on yourself, like you said, to reach, you said that you what you want to achieve and you really work hard for it. But I have friends who have been telling me about manifestations, and listening to you also emphasizes that yes, it does work. This is something I still need to explore. But having heard from you, I think, yeah, it just adds more curiosity in me to work on this more. So I think for my takeaway for today's would be about the power of manifestation. And the other thing would be that there would be noise around you. Just learn to cancel that and focus on yourself. So that is very important. Whether it was in the pageant, that if there is a negative feeling, keep that out and focus on what is the right thing, or whether it's at work that people try to pull you down, just keep that noise away and do what is bestest for you, rather than trying to prove people around you and explaining it to them. So
True, I
yes.
learned that. Yes.
Mhm.
So, so the huge learnings for me also, of course, manifestation is something that I do believe a lot in, and uh, besides that, I also was very appreciative of all the work that you have done, not just for yourself but for the community, because to get together all the women radiologists and work towards seeing to it that they all come together, and because of probably sonography and the girl child and things like that, I thought that was so so much the need of the hour, as well as creating a teamwork, with your family, whether it's with your family, having your mother support and, things like that, as well as supporting your own staff and colleagues and things like that. That's so nice, to create a bigger impact in life.
Thank you.
Go to Dr. Pranjali.
I think everybody has covered what I wanted to say. So mainly what I've learned is height, because I'm also 5'1", 5". So that is one thing I should not feel about height. I can also appear, but yes, that is one
Yes.
motivation. But
Mm.
second thing, ma'am, what I've learned from you is like you should not waste your energies to prove others. You should make your own list. You can make your own dreams and bucket list, and you can just start working on it and start ticking. That's the main thing I've learned from you. And calmness. So just focus and don't feel guilty about taking care of yourself, because if your glass is full, definitely you can give more to others.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Ritu, over to you.
So I think, again, if I have to start, I will speak too much. Dr. Sona, I'm usually the last person to come in because I cannot stop. But I would definitely want to say that with all of the mentions that all my friends and colleagues did, these women whom I love, I would want to say that for me, the biggest learning was that Dr. Sona is chota bam bada dhamaka. So Sona ko mat khona. And I still remember the aura that you carry, and I would love to meet you in person. And we would definitely
Yeah.
want that we collaborate. All the best for you for MedGenome. So whether it is I'm at loss of words right now, but I would say that, whether it is any field, whether it is radio, whether it is your teaching, whether it is your mentoring, whether it is social work, whatever comes in, you take it up with passion. Your demeanor absolutely shows that it's about passion that carries your foot ahead, and that is what each one of us should look at. There have been struggles, there have been negatives, but you've turned them into opportunities.
Yes.
Not everybody would be looking at it like that. So I think that is the biggest lesson I would look at as well, because exactly what you captured earlier, that when a woman gets it, it is looked upon as easy. And I have also been through that. That the moment we see that people always feel that, oh, it comes easily when you're a woman. You got something, oh great, yeah, you're a woman, it happens easily. To the extent of getting comments like, oh, you just smile and work gets done. But that's not, look beyond those contours, look beyond, just the face value, look at the struggles that we go through, look at the intellect, look at the mind that is supposed to be seen. And that's where I'm very happy to see the way you've kept yourself calm, composed, and I would definitely want to calm myself down a little bit. So I'm going to put your photo somewhere around so that I can probably lower down my excitement all the time.
If you ask my staff and Ajit, they will say you have got it wrong. I'm not calm.
नहीं तो कहीं कहीं तो दुर्गा बनना चाहिए, उसमें कोई डाउट नहीं है,
Yeah.
वो तो यूज करना ही पड़ेगा ना, so that's okay. But trust me, there's a lot of learning around that. Really had so much fun with you. Over to you.
So, yeah, so thank you, Dr. Sona Pungaonkar, for sharing not just your insights, but inspiration and inspiring all of us. And a heartfelt thanks to our panel here. So we'd end this session with like a pause
Thoughts from
and
Dr. Sona.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
please.
I have my feelings.
Any closing thoughts from Dr. Sona?
Any closing thoughts, ma'am? Please go ahead.
Yeah, I also would like to get in touch with
Yes.
you all and share and learn more from you all. What how
Yeah.
did this vibe come about, etc., etc. So
Yeah.
we'll connect.
Yes, we should meet up. We will surely.
Yes.
Sure. So
Yeah.
closing with our signature vibe, like a
Yeah.
vibe logo and pose. So on the count of three. So 1, 2, 3, be the vibe. Okay. 1, 2, 3, be the vibe.
With the vibe.
Guys,
Yeah.
stay.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much,
Thank
Thank
ma'am.
you
you.
so much, Dr. Sona.
Namaste. See you
Bye.
soon.
Enjoy.
Okay, bye bye.
Bye.
Bye,
Thank you
guys.
for the
Bye.
invitation.
Bye,
Thank you.
Latika.